What do you think of white people?
White people, they straight, you know. They just like me, you know. Okay. They straight, just, you know, they just stay white and we black, you know.
I ain't never had no static with no white person.
To me, nothing wrong with white people.
Bro, and these niggas is from the same place that I'm from, but just from a different time, nigga. But y'all want me to be racist so bad. Bro, I'm just pushing unity. Yeah, I'm a nigga, but I'm like a redneck at heart. I ain't a killer, but don't push me to the edge of par. I like hunting in the woods, so I shoot real good. From the city, but the country got a better start. I think that song called like Shot O'Clock on all platforms or something like that, bro. It's some dude named Emmanuel Lee or whatever the hell. Going on in America, man.
Black people say one nice thing about white people.
There's an open debate about how some black folks really are scared of white people, just maybe because of political kind of image that the world has created for white people, that they are untouchable, that they are the one who deserves better, and we black people should become the last. So some people are really obscured with this kind of, kind of myths outside there, but I don't agree with it. So we're gonna watch the video about different people who openly says that they are scared of white people. They really think that they are different from us in kind of how they act, how they think, how they take their decisions. And I'm not gonna say that what they're saying is true or false, but I don't agree with them. We are all the same. So let's watch the very whole video. I'm going to be back with my final commentaries. As you're watching, remember to make sure that you put your comment in this. As you're watching this video, remember to put your ideas in the comment section. Share your thoughts on how you really understand white people, and do you think there could be a cooperation between white and blacks? And if you have not yet made a subscription to this YouTube channel, this is your time to do so, because I share a lot of amazing stories about black people and the USA politics. So let's watch the whole video, and I'm going to be right back with my final commentaries.
You want to know what I noticed about you black folks that hate white people? Y'all only got that energy on the internet. Y'all never say shit to them in real life. Why is that? Because you might need them. They might be your employer. They might be your doctor. Or you might just be outnumbered. But when a black man like myself and millions of others try to unify the races, y'all get mad at us. Y'all call us tap dancers, coons, performing for massa. But if you think about your everyday life, can you survive without white people? The phone that you call us coons and tap dancers on was invented by a white man. The car you drive, invented by a white man. The guy that you bought the car from, more than likely a white man. The place you work, probably ran by a white man. Your bank account, probably ran by a white man. Your favorite restaurant, probably owned by a white man. Your favorite social media app, probably owned by a white man. Do you get where I'm going? Okay, shut the fuck up.
White women scare me. And let me tell you why. I'm currently in LA for the last residency for my graduate program, and I'm staying at a hostel.
That's a hell of a way to start off the video. White people scare me.
I've stayed at hostels before. This is probably the third or fourth hostel that I've stayed at. I've stayed at hostels out of the country. I've stayed at hostels in the country. I'm staying in a female dorm, so there's 6 beds, right? There's 4 of us in there right now. There's 2 beds that are available. So this morning I wake up, took a shower last night when I got home because I'm in class all day with my residency, like all day for the week, right? Took a shower when I got home last night and went to bed. Woke up this morning, woke up a little bit later than I wanted to. I set my alarm, but I slept past my alarm. Fine. So I get up and I hear someone in the bathroom and I'm like, shit, now I'm going to have to wait. That's fine. I got to be at class for 9 a.m. So I'm like, all right, I'll wait. Now the shower is going. And I'm like, all right. At this point, it's like 8:07, right? I'm like, I woke up at 7:44. It's like 8:07. I'm like, I need to get into the bathroom and like get myself together so I can leave and be on time. So I knock on the door at this point. I'm like, are you going to be much longer? And the woman that's in the bathroom, she's a white woman, but she has an accent. So she's from Europe somewhere. She has a very thick accent. He doesn't really respond to me. So I stand by the door. I'm waiting. I'm like, do I need to knock again? Mind you, one of my other, roommates is waking up. She's about to get up and she wants to take a shower. I'm the only black woman staying in this room. I forgot to say that. It sounded like she was taking a bubble bath. Number one, I don't know why you would be taking a bubble bath in a hostel. I hear the water sloshing around and I'm like, what's going on in there? I really wouldn't take a bubble bath at any hostel or hotel people are dirty, right? And I'm getting to my point here, right? Eventually she comes out and I'm like, are you done? Can I go in? She's like, yeah. So at this point, I'm like, I don't have time to take a full-on shower. So I'm just going to give myself a little bird bath. You know what I'm saying? Plus I also took a shower last night when I got home. So I do my due diligence, do my little bird bath, wash my face, brush my teeth, all the good things. I looked in the tub because I checked the tub when I got in there to see if she had taken a bubble bath and the water is draining out. So she had to have been soaking in the water. There's hair all over the tub. There's hair on the floor. The floor is soaking wet. She didn't open the window to let the room air out or get some circulation in there. So the mirror is fogged up and all of this shit, right? I'm like, all right, whatever. I handle my business. I come out. I'm getting ready and I'm standing in the mirror. There's a mirror behind our door to enter the room. And I'm getting ready and I'm just thinking to myself, the black people that date white people, are in relationships with white people, are married to white people, they have to be very strict.
Wait. So white people scare her based off of their cleanliness? All right. So basically what she narrowing this down to, because I wanted to hear as much as possible in this whole situation before I started to give my assessment of what she's saying. What she's basically saying is that her assessment of the whole situation and being in a rush because she had to get up out of there and she's staying at a hostel was that the white woman that is not even apparently from America, or maybe she is from America, or maybe she was born here, but she's clearly from a different country or have a different culture, took a bubble bath and she was in a rush. And so she didn't care for the way in which she took a bubble bath in this hostel. And she thinks that people that take baths inside of hotel rooms are also nasty because of the amount of people that actually use a hotel room. Okay. And she's basically saying that they are not as clean as black women. Now, I can't necessarily go into this in detail or in depth, but I will say this. I'm going to look at it from both sides, and this is how we're going to assess it, all right? And then I'm going to let her play the rest of the video because I want to see if I'm right on my assessment of what she's talking about. I see a lot of people.
When black people in our community talk about not trusting white people, the white people in our community know that as a group, white people ain't trustworthy. So they don't internalize that. Like, oh my God, are they talking about me? Nah, because they feel the same way.
It's the people that don't see it.
Yeah, the not all white people who just would not fit really well. Because if you internalize everything as an individual, that's your privilege. White people are the only people in this country who have the privilege of not being seen as a group. They expect to be seen as an individual. So when people talk about white people as a group, white people get uncomfortable because they want to be an individual.
Not all white people, right.
Many white people who mean right and in heart want to do right, but there's so few. If 10,000 rattlesnakes was coming down that aisle now, and I had a door here I could shut, and in that 10,000, 1,000 meant right. 1,000 rattlesnakes didn't want to bite me. I knew they were good. Should I let all these rattlesnakes come down, hoping that 1,000 get together and form a Sheol? Or should I just close the door and stay safe?
Black people can be racist to white people. I'm even shocked that this is a debate. Nowadays, the word racism is used very loosely and out of context a lot of the time. Racism isn't just one word with one meaning. It's a concept of multiple subcategories. There are four main types of racism: interpersonal, internalized, institutional, and structural. Interpersonal racism is when someone discriminates against someone else, whether it be intentionally or non-intentionally, because of their race. And yes, it can come from any race, not just white people. Internalized racism is when members of a racial group accept negative beliefs about themselves. So when I hear black guys saying black girls are too loud, too aggressive, that's internalized racism. Institutional racism is when policies or procedures within an institution lead to unequal outcomes for different racial groups. For example, a company with a hiring process that disadvantages people of ethnic minorities, or school policies that disproportionately affect ethnic minorities, such as regulating hairstyles in school. And then there's structural racism. This is how institutions, history, cultural norms, and social systems all interact to create and reinforce racial inequality across society. This is the combined effect of racism in many different parts of society on many different levels. For example, large amounts of ethnic minorities living in poorer areas. The difficulty of progressing in white-collar jobs compared to white counterparts. The historic lack of ethnic minority representation in the most prestigious higher education institutions, especially for certain ethnic groups. These are all examples of structural racism. And it's important to understand the meaning of racism and use the term appropriately, because misusing these terms that have so much significance can actually hurt the people you're trying to protect.
I've learned to feel uncomfortable around white people. I grew up in a predominantly white community. I didn't get exposed to more black people that grew up around black people until I was older. I've learned to feel uncomfortable around white people. Black people have unraveled so many different racist things that white people have done around me, to me, that I never noticed. I've learned from white people being around them that they've made such disrespectful remarks with a light execution so that it's interpreted as a joke, you know, the passive aggressive racial things. I've naturally learned to start feeling uncomfortable. Almost every single white person that I've met in my life that I've trusted has all said something that lets me know they look at black people as beneath them. I have white relatives that will denounce black people when they're extremely angry. I've worked in customer service around white people, and when a very angry, irate customer comes in that's black, after they leave, they refer to them as ghetto. And the same thing happens with a white person, and they refer to them as a bitch. I've been around white people who use a black person's dark skin as one of the adjectives making him or her ugly. I've been told it's a good thing I don't look like a black girl. I've had white people tell me that my mom is a Tigger lover. I've also been told I'm lucky I don't have nappy hair. A white person also told me to go live on welfare like the black bitch I am. So how exactly am I supposed to feel comfortable around white people after that? Because people be trying to tell me slavery doesn't exist anymore. I don't think it needs to for me to feel uncomfortable.
I recently saw a video of a black woman telling a group of white women that she will never trust them and will always be suspicious without even getting to know them just because they're white.
You know what I expect of white women? Not a damn thing. Nothing. I expect nothing of you because you have never given me anything. I can't trust you.
I want to explain why I am totally okay with that and why you should also be okay with it. As a white person, I have a weapon system that was built right into my skin from the day I was born that I can use against black or brown people whenever I want. And even though I have no intention of doing that, I could. And that's what matters. Let me explain it this way. Imagine that there are two people sitting across from each other at a table, but one of them has a weapon aimed at the other. And this person keeps reassuring the other person saying, trust me, trust me. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I know every single other person that's looked like me has pulled the trigger, but I won't. I think anyone choosing to get up and walk away from that table and not take the chance is completely reasonable.
There are many white people who mean right and in heart want to do right, but there are so few. If 10,000 rattlesnakes was coming down that aisle now, and I had a door here I could shut, and in that 10,000, 1,000 meant right. 1,000 rattlesnakes didn't want to bite me. I knew they were good. Should I let all these rattlesnakes come down, hoping that 1,000 get together and form a shield? Or should I just close the door and stay safe?
Nobody owes us anything. It doesn't matter how nice you are. It doesn't matter how much you try. It doesn't matter how much you learn. Consent doesn't just apply to the physical body. It applies to the mental body, the social body, the emotional body. You can do everything right, and people still get to say no.
I haven't made space for white people in public or on the sidewalk for years. Not because I'm rude or not because I don't have manners, but because white people expect us to, due to the history of our positioning as black people in this country. And if you're white and you're watching this, there's a moment on the sidewalk that most black people know that you never have to think about. You're walking, someone's coming the other way, and without thinking, You moved, not because you wanted to, not because there wasn't room, but because somewhere deep inside of our muscle memory of us in this country, that is what was required. That reflex has a history. During slavery, Black Americans had no legal claim to public space. The sidewalk, the street, the town square, those were white spaces. Black presence was conditional and punishable. After emancipation, Jim Crow formalized that exclusion. Black pedestrians were expected to step off the curb and make way for white passerbys. Not as a courtesy, not as law, but as submission. And then that was the structural architecture of what Jim Crow was. Jim Crow was designed to make Black inferiority legible in every dimension of public life, including in how you moved through it, who walked freely, who got out of the way. The sidewalk was the daily rehearsal for racial hierarchy, repeated so many times it stopped feeling like enforcement and started feeling like nature. Laws change faster than bodies do, than cultures do, than memory does. So when the explicit rules ended, the expectation didn't. It went underground into a social reflex, into unconscious habit. Psychologists call this embodied racial deference. Centuries of enforced subordination stored not in history books, but in our posture, in our eye contact, and how much room you allow yourself to take up. It's just like us being at grocery stores. You can always say that white people have no sense of personal space because white people never had to have sense of personal space. When a Black person holds their line, doesn't break stride, doesn't drift towards the curb, doesn't perform the deference the architecture demands, something else happens. The expectation meets resistance. The invisible becomes very, very visible. Refusal is one of the oldest forms of resistance in Black American life. Rosa Parks didn't move. The Greensboro students didn't move. Holding ground in public space has always been a declaration that the hierarchy is legitimate. And in 2026, we're still contesting Black dignity everywhere. In legislators, in courtrooms, in voting lines deliberately made longer, and on sidewalks. I'm in Texas right now with my brother and my niece, and we were walking and we saw this group of family and they refused to move and I refused to move. And I said, I'm not moving. And they eventually went around me. And it just made me think about how much of this nation's history and trauma of our ancestors we hold inside and how much is expected of us from them. So if you're white and you're listening to this, please mind your personal space. If you're Black and you're listening to this, remind yourself to take up space. Because at the end of the day, we're all Americans and we're all in this country, no matter what our skin is. Stay Black, stay blessed.
Let me start with this very simple question. Other than our skin color, do you think there is any other difference between Black and white? Or if it is there, maybe it's environmental kind of, growing that we've grown into that made us to be a bit different. But I don't think there is any other difference. The only difference is skin color. And skin color, as I always tell people, is caused by different factors, environmental factors, climate factors. Where we grew up, where our ancestors grew up. We grew up in different sections. Some near equators, some near the North Pole, some near the South Pole. And these kind of locations made us to have different skin colors. Even if you go to Africa, people are black. All people are black, almost all. But not all. If you go to South Sudan, you're going to see that people there are very darker skin because sometimes there it's very hot and they need a lot of melanin to transfer or to transform that sunlight into something, into energy and protect their skin. If you come here in Western countries, you're going to see that their skin is a bit light because it's not very hot as in east part of Africa. So these are, or south part of Africa. So these are all environmental factors that can make skin color of people different. So knowing this, so do you think there is any other difference between white and Black? None. If you take a white person and Black person and take in the same environment, they are going to compete. The only difference that the world created is to favor white people. They favor them with good education. They favor them with everything. And, it happened that white people maybe, or white-colored countries were developed more than black-colored countries. And then if people has power in this world, they have to rule. But that's the only difference. But in the same scene, in the same set, in the same environment, in the very same conditions, there is not going to be difference. And I think as you can donate your parts, your biological parts, your organs, your lungs. You can share them with a black person. This shows you that if this can happen, then internally we are all the same. And it really made me mad, or it even makes me mad right now, when I see a black person who in a very open space says that he is scared of white people. What them are you even talking about? How? Why are you scared of them? What did they do to you? Why do you think they are superior more than you? You are studying in the same class and you think they should be the one to be the first and it should come last after them. Why do you think that kind of mindset? I think this is a time for black people, especially those who are living in USA and Western countries, to realize that we are all the same. We all die. We all, meet with things and change our lives. So there is no point for you to say that white people are superior. Maybe let the world say that, but you say no. It's okay for the world to say that, but it's not okay for you on a personal level to say that white people are superior than you. So this was my final commentaries. As you have your ideas, please share that in the comment section. Like this video if you find it to be interesting. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel because it helps me a lot. And let's meet in the next video, which is coming very soon.